What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the Armoury. Welcome to Full-Time Sports Network. Welcome to Arsenal transfer talk and news. It's just a one-off. It will happen more frequently as we get closer to the window. But we've got my wonderful pod brother, who's got a beautiful background. How are we doing, Brenny?
I'm good. I've had a good week so far. Cannot complain. You know, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, I wasn't expecting to have to do this, but some stuff has been mentioned and it has to be talked about. Yeah, we have to get into it. Before we get into this, we'll get into the comments. Big up to Tony saying, "Good evening, you handsome sods. Hope you are well." Big up to Luke Chapman, my Northampton Town fan. Strange signs declaring new county name Weetabix pop up in Northampton on November the 15th. Residents in Burton Latimer were baffled to see road signs informing. What on earth has been going on there? Working with a Wolves fan tonight, so we're both laughing at Tottenham. Everyone should be right now. Big up to DWTT saying hello, and big up to Damos saying yes, my guys. Hope everyone is doing well. Right, let's get on to the first subject because there's some ones that we need to talk about quite extensively. The first one is Fabio Vieira to leave Arsenal on loan to gain some physicality. Now, there has been some issues with Fabio Vieira. I will admit it. I think the signing is fantastic. However, he's not ready for the Premier League consistently. I will put part of that down to Arteta because he doesn't rotate him enough, doesn't play him enough. So he hasn't gained that experience, hasn't gained that physicality because he doesn't play enough. However, he has been punished. As we all know, he was in the EFL competition when we lost 5-2 to Reading, which I think was last week. Was that last week? I think it was, or the week before. So he is on the naughty step at the moment. But Brenny, I want your opinions on this situation. Do you think it's a wise move for us to send him out on loan?
No. The reason why, I mean, you said it really there, Bobby. I mean, consistently. You used the word consistently, and he's not consistent. There is a quality player there. We know that, but I mean, you could go out on loan, but then the thing is, if he goes out on loan, what's going to happen if, in terms of us getting pensions, is he going to give ESR a run out if, say, Odegaard is out, Havertz is out? Is he going to give any of the youngsters a run as well? You see, and that's the thing. There's it's like he doesn't trust certain players, and he doesn't trust youngsters for sure. So that's why, unless you got someone else coming in, then yeah, I'm all for the loan, because we seem to have this there at Arsenal over the years, even under Arsene Wenger, where when players to go on loan or they have to go elsewhere, and then what would happen? We didn't replace them. We didn't replace them. So yeah, that's my only concern. And to be honest, it's been over the years, even under Graham era, where we've sold players and they hadn't been replaced, or it wasn't like quality. So it does come out on loan in that regard. But if we've got someone coming in that would be able to do a job as team, I don't mean sit on the bench, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. Look, I'll be honest. I think right now we've lost market value on what we paid for Fabio Vieira. So currently it looks like a bad deal financially. I think we paid around 30 odd million for him. His market value is nowhere near that now.
Yeah.
And that is important to Arsenal because it's important for our sustainability. Personally, I don't want him to see him go out. I want him to be played more. It's not going to happen though. Arteta doesn't trust him. Arteta has his favourites. He has a player that he plays that doesn't suit that position, but will continuously put him there. And we all know who we were talking about there. But I feel sorry for Fabio because he's well known for being a very good talent. And we feel like we've ruined him, to be honest. I feel we have. I feel this is partly our fault, not our fans, but the football club. I think we've ruined his potential at the moment. But it is what it is. Right, let's get into some comments. Big up to Kirabul. Hi, guys. Arsenal fan all the way from Ethiopia. Keep it up, lads. Thank you ever so much for tuning in, Kirabul. Big up to Tony Fulbrook saying, evening, Bobby and Brenny, and all in the chat. I'd sell him. I don't think he's made for the Premiership. I do believe he needs some physicality for the Premier League, but he's definitely got the talent. He's just easily pushed off the ball. I'll be honest, and I love him. I think he's brilliant. But look, it's not my it is my club, but I don't make the decisions. So I personally would send him out on loan. But it's where do you send him out on loan? That's the thing. Do you send him out to a Palace? Do you send him out abroad? I don't know. It's a tricky one. Sell Party for any price is a liability. We'll get on to Thomas Partey, don't you worry. We've got money coming in for Ramsdale, says Tony Fulbrook. Well, that is not a talking point for today, only because currently there is no sign of him leaving. As in, Arsenal wouldn't want to sell, and Arsenal aren't looking for a new goalkeeper. So as it stands right today, as in the 21st of November, nothing's happening with Ramsdale. So we could just mute that storyline at the moment. Let's move on to the next storyline. Arsenal do have two top priorities for next season. Now, when I say next season, this is also includes January. So we are prepping for next season also in January, if we get the money that we need. Right, so I'm going to ask you, Brenny, what do you think the two top priorities are for Arsenal, in your opinion?
I would say I would say definitely a right-sided and a striker right now.
Okay, well, you've got one of them
Those
right.
would be my two top priorities.
Yeah, well, sadly, that's not Arsenal's. Arsenal's priority is a midfielder and a striker. I don't know which one will come in first, if I'm honest. I haven't got a clue. We're looking at both options as of now, but I honestly don't know which will come in first. They might both come in at the same time. I don't know. But we haven't got enough money to get both of them in right now. So we will have to sell to bring them in. So that's the interesting part. But the midfielder is a priority now. I would possibly say it's actually more of a priority than the striker. That is linked with another story we'll be talking about very shortly. But yeah, it's what kind of midfielder would you be looking for, Brenny?
I would be looking for I mean, we have attacking midfielders as it is. It's only that one in ESR is not starting. We have I would say a defensive midfielder if Thomas Partey is going.
Yeah,
I would say if Partey's going, that is. I know we got Jorginho, we got Declan Rice, of course, but I would say it'd be a DM, even though I know we probably will get onto Partey at some point anyway. But
yeah,
I'd like for him to stay at the club. But yeah,
you are more right. It is a defensive. Well, it's a more defensive-minded midfielder. So it's not a full DM. It's more of a defensive-minded midfielder. I know what we're trying to do, and it's more pushing Odegaard further up. So he is the playmaker. Then we've got Declan Rice and the other player that will have the partnership of doing the defensive work and the defensive duties. One being more defensive minded in one game, where the other partner is helping Odegaard, and then certain games, both of them being defensive. So it's quite an interesting idea. I do think it will help Odegaard personally, but we'll wait and see. Obviously, Subamendi is pictured there. Subamendi is someone that we are very, very interested in, but we'll get onto the actual January transfer plans shortly. Right, Tony's here saying, Bobby, don't we have to sell to get players in? If Ramsdale says I want to play at Euros, so I want to wait, that's it. Arteta has caused problems we never had. Totally agree that we never had a problem before Arteta decided to go with this goalkeeping route. However, we don't necessarily have to sell to get players in. We do have some money. It's not a lot, I'll be honest, but we technically could be very clever and manage to get 2 players in with spending what we've got left. So it depends exactly what we're planning on doing. We're going to get onto some different talking points tonight regarding targets that we're looking at, where we could actually buy a midfielder. Well, actually, get a midfielder in. I'll be very careful about buying. Get a midfielder in and buying a striker, all for 20 million quid. We could do that, and to be fair, I'd be happy. So yeah, sell ESR and Katia Nelson Vieira. The person I can't even bother to mention, that dude, the right back. Party. There's some money. Yeah, trust me, we've got assets. We can definitely raise money very quickly. But yeah, we'll wait and see. It's important to see what goes out to what comes in as well. Brenny, did you say you want Party to stay? Why? Is that he never plays? So that's a question for you then, Bren.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If he's Tony, I mean, if he's fully fit and he has no issues, because whatever issues he's got, maybe his personal reasons, we don't know. Of course you'd want him to stay. I mean, the guys for me is world class. Stay. There's no other better DM in the Premier League. So that's one reason why I want to stay. want him. Sorry, I want him to stay. You know what I mean? So if he doesn't want to be a part of the Arsenal anymore, then fair play to him. Then go. If your heart's not in the club, then go. You know, if you don't want to be behind, but I still think he's got a massive part to play.
Yeah, well, moving on to him, because it's the perfect time to talk about him. Thomas Partey to leave Arsenal as soon as we receive the right fee. That is the situation now. If we get the right fee that we want for Thomas Partey, he's off. He's gone. There is certain things off the field that is affecting the situation. But yeah, Thomas Partey's days are pretty much done at Arsenal now. So I think we will try and sell him. I don't know if he'll go. I don't know where he'll go. There is obviously people talking about the links with Thomas Partey going to Juventus and us trying to do a swap deal with Vlahovic and stuff like that. It's all possible. It's all possible. This is football. Anything can happen. But yeah, Thomas Partey's days are pretty much numbered. I think even if he doesn't go in January, we will sell him in the summer, no matter what. We've got to get some money in for him. Arsenal, I don't think, are coming anywhere near close to agreeing a new deal. That is one big issue that is definitely off field, is that he won't sign a new deal at reduced terms. He wants stupid terms. And I'll agree with Arsenal here. Don't give him stupid terms. He hasn't earned it. So, yeah, for me, get rid. I know me and Brenny will disagree on that, but for me, his time's up. I'll sign for Arsenal, get his money, and don't play. Get rid. Should have sold him in summer. I don't care what his issues are. He's been injured more than he's played. 100%. That is a massive, massive problem. You know, we can't rely on him because he
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Arteta obviously has a certain system, favourite players, and he doesn't want to change from that. Let's be honest, he doesn't.
So true.
So when he wants to, when he's not got those players available, his system is gone out the window. So I don't agree with that, because personally, it's a squad game. You should be adaptable. You should be able to change players from this player to that player to still have a very good squad. Arteta's not like that, and it's kind of annoying, if I'm honest. But look, for me, his days are numbered. I think we could possibly sell him in January. If not, we will sell him in summer. If Arsenal give him a new contract, they should be reported to FFP for wasting money. Look, Arsenal have offered him a new contract. It is only because they want to protect the value of him. That is literally the only reason. Same as what Nelson, the situation was with Nelson. Same with Venkata. It's protecting the value. But Partey wants ridiculous amounts of money for what his age is.
I think
for how much he's.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Bren?
Yeah, what I was going to say, PB, is that, you see, with Partey, yeah, of course I'd want him to stay. But if he does, so if he was to go in January, it'd be a case of, okay, if it's going to be a swap deal with Juve for Vlahovic, then fair enough. But then I think that's where Arteta, for me, would have to, he'd have to speak to Edu, and what they are. Me personally, what I would do is I would bring in a DM in the summer who is world class, you know, because I just feel you cannot get a top class DM right now in the January, because there are those that are still involved in the Champions League as well. So there's always that. And if he does go, well, for me, you'd have to slot Declan Rice in as a number 5, and I don't think this would happen. But even though we've been screaming for it, that's when you think, okay, it could be a midfield of Rice, Odegaard, and Zinchenko as the number 8.
Yeah.
So do that instead, you know.
Yeah.
But as long as we know we're getting like for like in the summer, because we've got Jorginho as well, who for me I think is a good squad player, you know, and Declan Rice will always be one of the first names on the team sheet. So yeah, if he does go, then yeah, you know, get someone like Tchouameni or whoever in the summertime. And as we all know, as much as I'm a big fan of Partey, no one is bigger than the club.
Correct.
No one.
100%.
Tony's saying, we can do.
Yeah.
You know?
Tony's saying here the party is over. Let him go. Availability is the best ability. Yeah. The man is 65 years of age. Stop asking him to play elite football. Give him a contract for 4 years.
I knew someone was going to come up with.
Yeah. Oh, it's been an ongoing joke for years now. I love it. Give him a contract for 4 years. Pay him only 3 months.
I didn't think that'd be Luke. I didn't think it'd be Luke.
Brenny, are you Partey's dad? As surely that's the only reason you would keep him.
Hey, you know what I'm talking about? Luke, hey. Oh my God. No, because I mean, you know, it's like Luke just brought up age there. I actually thought that would have said, well, he's 47 years old, you know. I mean, how's he still playing football? You know what I mean? But no, I mean, I'm old enough. I'm actually old enough to be his dad, so that's impossible. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm old enough to be his granddad.
Oh dear. Yeah. Right, let's move on to the next point. Let's quickly talk about the wonderful Chido Obi Martin. The reason I'm talk about him, obviously we all know about the 10 goals that he scored against Liverpool, but this is nothing to do with this. This is more to do with knowing that he is ours. Now, when I say he's ours, the situation that we had with Nwaneri, where he was very close to leaving the club, we have already got Obi Martin down for a scholarship. So he is ours for at least 2 more years. Then after the scholarship, that's when it all depends on if he signs the first professional contract. But I just wanted everyone to be fully aware that he is ours. We got no worries about the Nwaneri situation happening with Obi Martin. I honestly do think we'll see him in an Arsenal shirt for the first team within 18 months. I think his progression is that quick that I think we will see him. It may just be a small part, but I do think we'll see him very, very soon, and I can't wait personally. What about you, Brenny, with this young lad?
Oh, I'm very happy with this. I'm very, very happy with this. I mean, yeah, because I mean, we knew what he could do even before those 10 goals, and if anyone hasn't seen those 10 goals yet, I mean, there's some good viewing there, really good viewing. You know, it's just the way he took them as well. You know, in such mature fashion. You know, it was just, yeah, it was something else. You'd see goals that were worthy of Armoury, Wright, and Alan Smith. That's how good those 10 goals were. If you see all if you see all the strikes, but you see, for me, I'm really like Armoury as well. I'm glad that we tied down. You know, we're tying down these players, but me and you spoke about it already. It's just a question of, you know, I'm not saying this season, but next season, not just League Cup games. You know, I would say bring 1 or 2 of them into the first team, especially if you got injuries or suspensions. And also, over the years, like our Highland boys, I know we've never been you know, until this summer, for a few years actually, we've never been the big spenders in terms of other clubs I'm not going to mention, but they do save you an awful lot of money in the transfer market.
Yeah, they do. It's
I'll tell you what, it'd be great to see the
yeah, we've got some great quality coming through, and look, Obi Martin is not the only one that's 15 in our academy that's doing extremely well. He's the only one that's been talked about because of what he's done. There are others, but yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see him hopefully make an appearance for Arsenal at some point.
Quite a few, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. A like for party would be me, and I'm 66, says Tony. In Basildon, you'd be a great granddad, Brenny, says Luke. Tony Fulbrook saying, I'm for the youth, but we need to get away from this tail end love to expect them all to succeed and not want to sell in the best interest of good. I totally get what you're saying, but the problem is we're not at the moment giving any chances to our youth. Look, I'm all for giving them a chance. If they fail, they fail. We sell them. I'm all for that. I don't absolutely have no issues with this whatsoever. But we are not giving any chances to Koji Dubry. We've only given the chance to Saga Junior this season. So
and exactly.
What were you gonna say, Bren? Sorry, mate.
Yeah. And I've never ever knocked. No, I've never ever knocked the manager for that. I've never knocked any of our managers for giving youth a chance. Never. You know, because there's some that have been given a chance over the decades that have made it and haven't made it. So I've never moaned about it. You know, we'll say, "Oh, why have you put him in? He's too young." And no, never.
Yeah,
it's what we want to see.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, give him that opportunity.
He currently represents Denmark, doesn't he, Bobby? Yes, currently, yes, but he is open to 3 different countries: Denmark, Nigeria, and England are the 3 that he can choose later in his professional career. Because obviously it's youth. He can play for whatever youth to set up he wants to at the moment, but then he can change when he wants to. But yeah, currently it's Denmark. Silva One saying the next Osherman. Yes, he reminds me more of Osherman. He's currently 6 foot and he's 15, so he's still got time to grow. But his style of play is more like Osherman. I know you mentioned Tony in Twitter space that he could be the next Haaland. It's more Osherman. He is quite selfish, which is actually for me quite a good thing. But he does need to change that a little bit, if I'm being honest. He does, Luke. Bobby, we need to get in our heads. Arteta will not give them a chance, so Arteta would need to go, and that isn't happening. True. Look, I'm not on the Arteta out stage at all at the moment. I'm going to wait to the end of the season, see what we do by the end of the season. But the one big sticking point that I do have with him is he doesn't give youth a go. And that is a problem for me. That's just me. A lot of people don't think that, but I do. I'm open to play for any country except the Welsh. I don't like sheep.
No,
fair enough. Sheep. Right, let's move on to the next one. Right, what are our January plans? What would you like us to do? Right, I'm going to ask Brenny in a minute what he would like to do. Guys in the comments, tell me what you would like to do and keep them as sensible as you can. But what Arsenal plans are is to try and offload some players to then see if we can get 1 or 2 of our priorities in. That is what we're trying to do. Whether or not it happens, I don't know. We didn't have the greatest summer when it comes to outgoings, so I'm not being very optimistic about us doing it in January. Brenny, over to you. What would you like us to do in January?
Ivan Toney. I would love an Ivan Toney in January. I don't know if that's possible though. But that would be the one, because I think he would definitely push us forward. You know, and also his goals, he can assist, and his link up play is really good as well. So yeah, but he would be one. I mean, I cannot think of what good right-sided midfielders are out there right now. It's cover for Saka, but this is where I'd like to see a couple of the Hale M boys get given a chance at some point. I'm not talking about your big games away from home. I'm not talking about that. Sago Jr., Cozy Dewberry. So maybe look at them, but then mainly a striker right now because I was thinking if we stay injury free right now, I think we'll be okay. But we need that we need a striker from me personally.
Yeah, look, I've said it, and I guarantee you, next year at some point, a striker will be signed. I guarantee it. I just don't know who. The problem is, Tony is overpriced, and he is. He's ridiculously priced. Ferguson has just signed a new contract. He was someone that we were looking at. Osherman will cost a fortune. I will be honest, if Mbappe does decide to leave PSG next summer, our toe will at least be in the water because we will at least offer him something. Obviously, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we will be interested in Mbappe. And there are other strikers. There's Santiago Jimenez from, I believe, Feyenoord. There's one that we're going to talk about in a moment as well. But I've put Neves up there because he is an option. He is an option that I know Tony's not particularly a great fan of, but he is the type of player that Arsenal would look at, and Arteta has been admiring him for a few years now because he would unleash Odegaard. Like where Odegaard is having to do the defensive duties, Neves would do it. Rice would do it. You then unleash in Odegaard. And I kind of do get it because I don't think Odegaard is the best playmaker we've got at the club, in my opinion. I think he could be going out on loan. But Odegaard's best ability is to play make. So I don't agree with it, but Neves would be a loan. So it makes perfect sense for me. I know Tony's saying here Neves is overrated. I'll sooner keep Partey. Tony is not worth the money Brentford would ask. I totally agree there. He's not worth the money. We will end up with Mopé. I guarantee you Mopé will never come to Arsenal, and Arsenal would never want to sign Mopé. That is never going to happen. It's very much like Troy Deeney will never sign for Arsenal. There's certain players out there that would never want to be signed by Arsenal, and we would never want to sign because they've got extremely bad attitudes. And Mopé is definitely one. Get City to sign Mbappe, as they will say. They signed him for 20 million on their books, and we buy him for 40 million. Mbappe will be a free signing next summer if he gets out of this way of, because PSG are basically trying to make him sign a new deal. I don't believe he will. And if he doesn't, then he's up for grabs. Yeah. And anyone can get him. Look, I do believe that Arsenal will dip their toe in. I do think they will. I know Arsenal are interested in him. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. It's a wait and see situation with that one. Right, let's move on to the next talking point. Bayern Munich looking at the availability of Tomiyasu. Not going to happen in terms of Arsenal because Arsenal do not want to sell Tomiyasu because he is the most adaptable defender we've ever got. So it's not going to happen personally unless it's for crazy money, which Bayern Munich don't have. So this is a null and void situation. I did want to talk about it because it's in the news at the moment. So I won't even ask Brenny's opinion because it's null and void story, to be fair. Right, but we are going to talk about these. Wubben, Russo and Beth Mead have all been called up to the England squad. Now, everyone knows how much I love the Arsenal women. I've been doing the watch-alongs as much as I possibly can. It's great to see Beth Mead being called up. What about you, Brenny?
Yeah, definitely. I never got. I saw the highlights of the game against Brighton, but you know, when I've been watching them in the past few weeks, they deserve their call ups, and I'll tell you what, with our players come back, ease back into the squad as well. from the bench, it can only benefit our girls there for the England setup also. So no, that's great news. It's great.
Yeah.
News.
Got to go on to this comment now because I've just seen it. Big up to Tabriz Ali Wanua. I think that's how you say it. Brenny legend, loving the background. It is. It is amazing background. Big up to you, Tabriz. Tony saying,
No, it's
just think,
yeah,
Bobby.
Tabs, man, he's the man.
Just think, Bobby and Brenny, if City and Chelsea get relegated, there will be some cheap buys, boot sale in Manchester and West London. The City one could take years, I'll be honest. The Chelsea one could be dealt with this year, or this season, I should say. But yeah, I don't think they'll get relegated. They will get punished in some way. We need to cancel the first.
They'll be fine.
Tony, I'm in total agreement with you on this one. We need to cancel the first half and start the second straight away, as that's when our women start. Yes, our first halves this season have been poor. There's no way around it. They have been poor. Our second halves have been more entertaining. I could remember going back just to the Leicester game, 2-0 down at half time. Turn it around, we win 6-2. It's one of those. Obviously, we beat Brighton 3-0 at the weekend as well. Big up to the Arsenal women on Thursday. I'm going to try and do a watch along. However, I don't know if I can watch it yet. So if I can't watch it, I can't do a watch along, clearly. But we are playing Southampton in the Conti Cup. So big up to the Arsenal women for that game. But yeah, so that's the women covered. Right. Don't panic too much about this situation because I've heard different. But this is what the Netherlands team doctors have said about Timber. They believe that he won't be back until pre-season for next season. Now, that is not what I've heard. I've heard different. But it has to be talked about because the Netherlands doctors are keeping track of it. Now, the only reason I'm talking about this is because there's obviously a situation at Arsenal at the moment where our information regarding injuries is not being trusted, as in the Brazil team come over to England, check Jesus and Martinelli, and then decide to keep them and play them. So yeah, it's something that we need to discuss because obviously we also haven't replaced O'Driscoll, who's left to go to United. So yeah, something's not right somewhere along the injury line, but. If this was the case for you, Brenny, would you be extremely disappointed?
Yeah, 100%. For me, I just think something doesn't seem right there because I would more or less be interested in what our team doctors say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I'm the same.
Yeah, well, I would be disappointed if that was the case.
Well, as far as I'm aware, I've just seen Luke's comment. Sorry, I was giggling. Right, as far as I'm aware, he should be seen back in very, very light training around December, January time. I haven't heard that that's any different as of right now. However, what gives me the doubt is. Obviously, I think people are talking about in the comments, Jesus is playing tonight against Argentina. But Jesus' injury wasn't as bad as we made it out to be. We were just kind of resting him and, helping him recover more. And I know that we've got talking about Odegaard. Odegaard should be fine for the Brentford game. Obviously, I don't know until Friday, but as far as I'm aware, as of right now, Odegaard should be fine for Brentford. I will let you know that obviously Raya is not going to play against Brentford because he's not applicable. So yeah, that's a different situation. My girl Russo has been our best. Russo has been a great signing. You can all see why I wanted her. She's absolutely incredible. How can Jesus play for Brazil, not for us? Because I don't want to use the term liars because that's not fair. We are careful. it's a weird situation. I'll be honest. The international community of doctors have heard that the Premier League are not fabricating injuries, but they are being cautious with injuries. I think that's probably the safest way I can say it. But yeah, I do get it. And I know Luke's saying here, ban international football. They are Arsenal employees, not Arsenal FA ones. I do get it, but the rules are FIFA's. If they're available and they're called up, they have to go. It's simple as that. It's laws are laws. It's a FIFA law. So yeah. It's a crazy one. Timberland is back. Not yet. I will let you know if he is back. Not as of right now. Sorry, Bobby, I'm starting to believe Arteta is becoming a bit of a liability. There seems to be rumours coming out about Arteta falling out with players. Some say over Ramsdale. I don't want to comment on that yet. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I don't want to comment on that yet. Not everything is rosy. I think I'll leave it at that. Not everything is rosy. What are the odds? Oh, jeez. What are the odds I will be in goal against Brentford instead of Ramsdale? I'll be honest, if that happens, Ramsdale's gone. Like, he's probably already signed for a new club. Yeah. Oh, no. Jeez, no. That will give me
I personally think he'll be back. I think he'll be back on Saturday, definitely.
Yeah,
he'll be back.
He will. Yeah.
100%. He'll be back.
Yeah. For me.
Regardless of what's going on, he'll be back.
Honestly, if Hein plays on Saturday, I'm going to cancel the watch along. I'll be honest. I'm not dealing with it. Oh, jeez, what the heck? Right, Bobby, if I ask if Brenny is injured and you say yes, but he plays tomorrow, then that's a lie. Yes, true. Arteta does lie a lot. Yes, he does. There's no way of putting that nicely. He does. Bobby, are you denying or agreeing about the rumours? I'm saying that there are some things that have not come out yet. But yeah. Remember, we've got 2 number 1 goalkeepers. Comment that he's going to rotate that position like it's an outfield position. Yeah, exactly. There you go. I don't need to say much more because you've literally put it there. Just don't believe everything he says. That's probably the best idea. Right, let's move on to this one. This is the situation that I talked about earlier, where if we're clever, we could possibly get 2 players in by spending the money we've got. So Marcus Leonardo, because the Brazilian league, I think, is pretty much done now, or it has finished, I'm not sure. He is going to leave in January. So I think it's just United and Arsenal that are looking at him. He's a very, very good striker. If you get the chance, look him up. He's a very, very talented striker. Proper striker as well. None of this Jesus stuff. He's a proper go for the goal type striker. I do like him. And 20 million quid. You can't ask for much more. Brenny, I know this is going to be tough, but have you seen him? Have you heard about him?
No, I haven't, and it's been ages since I've seen any highlights from, Santos or any of the Brazilian league. To be honest with you, I mean, you know what though? I always find that I've said this many times with Brazil. I find with Brazilians, the players that they produce, they keep producing incredible young talent over the years, but that's most of South America. So it wouldn't surprise me if Marcus Leonardo is top quality, and also I find that when you look at the national team, and over the years how they've struggled, or they've not won a World Cup in over 20 years, and now struggling even to win a Copa America. I know they won it a few years ago. I've always said if they want to get back to those heights again, then they've got to stop bringing in your European Brazilians. What I mean by European Brazilians, ones that are playing here. They're playing in Italy, playing in Spain, and get a squad of 23 for guys like Leonardo and other players who play in the Brazilian leagues, because they're better for me than your well-established Brazilians. So it wouldn't surprise me if this guy was to become successful, if we were to sign him, or if anyone else was to sign him. So yeah, but I've not seen much of him, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's top quality.
Yeah, he is. Look, we're looking at, I think there's about 4 different Brazilians we've been looking at the moment. Trindade is one that I mentioned back in the summer. We're still looking at him, 25 million quid. There's a couple of others, youngsters as well. Yeah. Look, it's a market we need to dip into. I know it's a risk, and I know that Temi is saying, I hope this Marcus Leonardo isn't the new Denilson. Look, I know it's a risk, but sometimes it pays off. Look at Martinelli; he's cost 6 million quid. I guarantee you now he's worth 70 to 80 million. So yeah, it's a risk, and if you're careful about it and do enough research into it and do enough scouting, you know that you're not going to get a risk. And Tony's saying here, we've signed Brazilians, and our record bringing them on is very good. Gilberto, Edu, Martinelli, Jesus, not bad to name just a few. Exactly. Yes, there has been some misses. We all know it, but it's worth a risk. 20 million quid. He's 20 years old. I guarantee you, even if it doesn't work out that well, he's going to be worth 30, 40 million quid. So, it's worth a risk, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, it is. It is. I agree. And what Temi just brought up there with Denilson, funny story. I think it was back in 2006, summer 2006. What comes up on Sky Sports News is that Arsenal has signed Denilson. So I called my brother Damos, and I called Canners. We called me or texted him, and we all got excited because we thought we'd signed Denilson from Betis. We thought, oh well, Robert Pires has left this summer, Bergkamp's retired, so Thomas Rosicki's coming, and then we've got Denilson. I'm like, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, who is this? And we're like, oh my God. We're like, no. So anytime Denilson gets I always think back to that day where we thought we signed the Denilson. So yeah, is what it is. I mean, Temi, I'll tell you, man, bring Denilson was one time saw playing against Man United, and I've seen him a few times playing live, but the United game, we lost 3-1. And I'm like, is Denilson on the pitch? I don't even see him. He was on the pitch, but you never saw him on the pitch. He was an absolute ghost, that guy. My God. So I'm gonna have nightmares about him now. You know what I mean?
Right, but we also signed Andre Santos, Denilson, and Wellington Silva. Yeah, we've like I said, it's a high risk. It's a risk. Big up to Hazard Collins. I'm going to guess that you are a West Ham fan with Come On Your Irons. I have no issues saying it. I've got half my family support West Ham, so I have no issues with it. Something tells me Brenny got the shirt.
He's not the only one, because Bobby. No, I didn't. Hey, Bobby, just to say, he's not the only Irons in there as well, because my boy Tabrez, he's an Irons fan as well.
Oh, is he?
Big him up.
Oh, well. Yeah, well, welcome, West Ham fans. You're very welcome. I have no issues with you at all. Do you remember the club that signed a player but not the one they thought wasn't? It was the brother they wanted. Right, let's move on to the last subject. Arsenal are monitoring Sudakov situation. Now, the reason I mentioned Sudakov is because he has just changed his agent, which always suggests that he will be leaving the club that he plays for, which right now is Shakhtar Donetsk. He is a midfielder, a very talented midfielder. Personally, because it's Shakhtar, I wouldn't deal with him. But it is what it is. Now, Brenny, I know this is going to be a tough question. Do you know anything about Sudakov?
Only bits, not a lot. I mean, it's the only time to get to see Shakhtar live indoor at his Champions League games, you know. And they always seem to get have quality players, you know what I mean, in there. And for me, like I say, I don't know a lot about him, but for me, it wouldn't surprise me if he strikes me as someone who you say he's a midfielder.
Yeah, he's an attacking midfielder.
Is he a midfielder, Bobby? Midfielder. Okay, so he's probably the focal point of their attacks then, really. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't look at him right now because I know, obviously, I know with Martin Odegaard to return. Yeah, you see when he's fit as well. I love ESR, and I don't know what's happening there with ESR, but I mean, do we need another attacking midfielder? And then you got Kai Havertz who can play as a 10. So for me, it'd be a no. Or unless they're deciding to bring in Sudakov in with Fabio Vieira going out on loan, who knows? So yeah.
For me, if Sudakov, if the situation becomes more deeper and more concrete, then that ends Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira for me. That's them done. Because there is no point to sign Sudakov unless we've got people leaving. It makes zero sense whatsoever. It's madness. Right, let's get into some comments. Remember Souness thinking he was signing George Ware's brother when he was Southampton. There has been some awful things happening on in the football world. Big up to Hazard saying,
he was so bad. Yeah, he was awful.
I think Arteta is the best coach in the world right now. He has more of a legacy.
That last. Oh. No, I mean George Graham. He was the first player to win all 3 domestic trophies as a player and a manager. No, that's no way. Got a long way to go.
In case I forget, I'd like to thank Mikel Arteta and Brenny.
He's already surpassed. He surpassed Bruce Riot, though. Yeah. He surpassed Bruce Riot, that's for sure.
Yes. Big up to Brez saying, come on, you guys. We've got literally no issues saying it, honestly, guys. Dealing with Shakhtar is like dealing with a mafia. It's a governmental situation with Shakhtar at the moment. I would just not touch it with a large pole. I wouldn't trust Shakhtar after they mod Chelsea on the Fraudrick deal. Yes, 100%. Sounds like a cough of syrup. That guy. Don't deal with Shakhtar. They've already shafted us. Yeah, I'm with the same guys, to be honest. It's a situation we're looking at currently. Nothing too concrete. But like I said, this news will come back closer to January. Then there'll be more constant shows during the transfer window, like I've done in the last window. This was just a talking point because certain stuff is being said at the moment for the right time. Brenny, thank you ever so much for coming on again. I really appreciate it, as always. Where can they find you, my friend?
Hey, you can find me here on the Armoury TV. Like, please. you know, and we're growing and growing by the day. So appreciate your support. Appreciate everyone in the chat as well. And you can also find me on X and Instagram this week.
There we go. Thank you, Bren. I don't think George Graham was very good at all. Oh, Hazza, you're talking to the wrong two people here. I tell you, I love George Graham. George Graham will always be an idol with me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I will always be more George than Wenger.
Must have been
just me. That's just
championship match game. Same here. Same here. I've always, I mean, how I break it down, like I've said already, George Graham gave me some ever an Arsenal fan, but Arsene Wenger gave me the best football.
Yeah.
The football under Wenger was incredible.
Like I've said, and I'll always say it, the fact that George Graham's was best friends with my mom's hairdresser, which is a whole weird story. I got to meet George Graham a lot more than a lot of people did. Stuart Houston lived not far from where I lived as well. So yeah, that era at that time was just meant so much to me. So yeah, George Graham will always be number one for me. I don't care he went to Tottenham. I don't care all the other stuff that happened off the pitch. George Graham will always be my number one. But guys, really appreciate it.
He's screwed up anyway.
Exactly. Oh, jeez. God, I don't even know how to deal with this one.
It was our
Graham's
inside
legacy was better at Spurs, though.
Nah, that's
Right, guys. I will be back definitely on Friday night for the Brentford preview. I might be back Thursday night. I'm not sure. But guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will speak to you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.